here with Gypsyfae Creations. Thanks for tuning in. Today I wanted to try something new. I'm going to create some shampoo bars. Never done this before, and so I'm following a recipe out of Wholesale Supplies Plus April of 2018 issue. There's a nice little article with lots of information on them, and there's a couple different varieties of shampoo bars. So there's like a moisturizing, a conditioning, a clarifying, and a 3-in-1 men's shampoo bar. I'm going to go with the moisturizing. Shampoo bars are great because they are better for the environment. They create less plastics. They're really great for travel. Little goes a long way, and they are just handmade, so of course they're better. So let me show you what I'm working with here. Alright, the recipes, most of them I got off of Crafter's Choice or Wholesale Supplies Plus. I have some emulsifying wax. This is supposed to be more like a conditioner ingredient in the bar. I have got some sodium lactate, which is going to harden the bar. I have some amino acids, some silk amino acids. These are just really good for your hair in general. Let me see. I have got the preservative, because of course you don't want this bar to go bad once you make it. I've got some sodium, I don't even know what that word is, sulfate noodles. These are really cool because they literally look like these little noodles. You'll see these a lot in the Lush bars if you ever go buy a Lush shampoo bar. I've got some Bubble Up, and let's see, so the other ingredient excuse me, in this is this SLSA. This is organic. I got that off of Amazon. So the SLSA is a powdered surfactant that creates the bubbles. The Bubble Up ingredient that I got is going to help increase the mildness of the cleanser. So I have a lot of these ingredients measured out, and then I also have some horsetail butter is what the ingredients was called for in this recipe for the moisturizing one. I've measured up the SLSA into a measuring cup. I've also measured out all the other ingredients from the wax to the SLSA, sodium lactate, the preservative, and the silk amino acids. And so into this bowl I'm going to measure out the noodles and the Bubble Up. So the recipe says I need 4.05 of the SIC noodles. So let's get that in there, and you really want to make sure you get your ingredients very exact on this. And then you want to be careful because a lot of these ingredients become airborne and can be very irritating to the lungs. So I suggest a mask, especially for that SLSA stuff, because I keep breathing it in. I should probably get some masks. Alright. Bubble Up, 3.20. In you go. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this on a double boiler and melt it all down. 3.20. Almost there. Yep. Great, let's get that on our double boiler. Found a mask. Luckily I work in a dental office, so all the masks and gloves are from my work because we get a lot of free samples in, so lucky I have that. I don't like wearing masks though, but you gotta do what you gotta do. Alright, so everything is in this double boiler here, basically a bowl over a pot filled with boiling water. You have to continue to mix this and then wait for everything to melt down until it is in a pasty consistency, and then we'll add the rest of the ingredients and pour. So this is going to be fun. Always wanted to try making my own shampoo bars. I know I love buying them from Lush, but this I'm going to be able to eventually customize to be my own recipe. The article in the Wholesale Supplies Plus was really interesting because it is written by Susan Barclay Nichols, and she's got a lot of interesting and informative information in here. Tells you about how you can't talk with a mask on either. It tells you about how your hair is acidic, and that new hair is 3.7, damaged hair is more neutral or 7. So you really want to try and create a bar that can mimic that, I guess. I know a lot of people do, what is it called? Apple cider vinegar rinses in order to get the follicles in your hair. Well, I don't know. It's so scientific. It really is. Where is it? It talks about the main ingredient in any shampoo are the surfactants, which clean by acting like little emulsifiers. They have a hydrophilic or water-loving head and a lipophilic or oil-loving tail. So when they encounter something gross, they grab onto the oily end to be rinsed away easily with water. So isn't that a cute way of thinking about it? You never knew how shampoo works. Alright, so I'm just going to keep mixing this up until it gets where it needs to be, and then we'll move on to the next step. Alright, so then it says once it's at this pasty consistency, you're supposed to add your other ingredients. So we have mask on, the SLSA, and the emulsifying wax, the amino acids, the horsetail butter, and everything else is in there. I'm going to mix that until everything is incorporated. And go from there. Alright, so I've mentioned to you guys before that I just want to try new things. That's what this is. This is me trying something new. And there's plenty of other new things that I'm going to try other than soap, but it's just hard finding the time. Like with baking, I've mentioned before in a couple videos that before I was doing this, I was a baker. And lately I've missed that. And it's around Christmas time, and December means I need to start baking my Christmas cookies. I go crazy with Christmas cookies. I make like 8 different kinds and dozens of each, and I hand them out to everyone at work. Bradley will take them to work. I take them to parties. I give them to my neighbors. I just go nuts. Like I take a day off work and that's all I do all day is bake cookies. So it's that time. But then I started watching a Netflix show, and if you guys are from the UK or if you have Netflix, I highly suggest watching The Great British Bake Off. I am obsessed. And I've seen them all. But I turned Netflix on the other day and there was a Christmas special on there, and I was just in my happiest place. I was like, oh, I'm going to binge watch all of these. I love Christmas time. I love baking. I love The Great British Bake Off, and there's no Fielding in it. Like, this is awesome. I am just going to be on this couch forever. And it was a little bit of BS that there were only 2 episodes. But then that got me thinking, like, I really miss baking, and Christmas cookies that's just not going to cut it. I want to bake something else. And I think I'm going to attempt a U-log. I've done it once. I want to try it again. So, time to put some soaping to the side for a weekend. It's going to be hard. But I have a Christmas party to go to, and it's an excuse to bake something, and that is what I'm going to do. Lots of cookies, lots of U-logs. So I will be sure to post that for you guys at the end of this video. Alright, I'm just trying to figure out what the temperature of this is, because I think it's good. It says once it's at 122 degrees that you can add your fragrance. So I'm going to take this off, stir it up a little more, and then we'll add the fragrance. Back at my workstation here, I want to try adding a little bit of color to this. A little bit of the Bailey's Blue. Let's see what that does. Mix that in. And the fragrance that I'm going to be using in this is a sample that I got from Brambleberry, and it's called Sea Salt. It was their summer collection that they came out with, and I just got a little sample bar of it. So I'm going to add a little bit of that to this, and then I'm going to try and get this in a mold. The molds I'm using are these little cupcake looking silicone molds that I did Harry Potter cakes in. That is the closest thing that I think a shampoo bar shape would be. So let me add a little bit of fragrance here. That's good. Just a little bit. Oh no. Get off there. Smells really good. I just imagine mermaid's hair smelling like this. And I thought with the fragrance that the color should match it. Alright, I'm just going to try and scrape down on these sides here, make sure everything is incorporated. This makes a pretty small batch. This is a lot smaller than I thought it would be. I still have a lot of the ingredients though that if I wanted to make more, I could. Right, I think that looks good. So let me get the molds over here. Glad I put the lid on that. Not put the lid on this because accidents happen. Alright, and I think I'm only probably going to need one of these, so I'm not even going to bother taking it out of there. See if I can get it in this mold. Anyway, I feel like a lot of the things I do on this channel is an experiment. It is me learning. That is what this channel is. I do not do tutorials. I don't want to be responsible for other people's attempts at soap making because I can't be responsible for my own. But it is pretty much trial and error on this channel. I like to experiment, try new things. Maybe I'll inspire you. Maybe you'll learn something, but I'm not an educational channel by any means. It is me seeing a vision of soap in my head and trying to execute it and create what's there in my mind. Alright. Didn't make too many of these, but I can always make more. So if you're interested in buying these, let me know, because I can get them in the Etsy, put them in the Etsy shop and make more. I also feel like those cooking shows can be a little stressful because in the same case that everyone on there is just trying to make the perfect cake or the perfect cupcake in front of the judges, and you only get one chance. You know, you can't redo anything. And hopefully in the end it turns out the way you imagined it. And in that case, me too. I even have the Paul Hollywoods and the Simon Cowells on my channel of those who want to give me advice. Alright, so I think that's good enough. That is just in there. So next it says to place in the freezer for an hour and then remove from the mold and let sit for 24 hours before using, which is really neat because with soap, you have to let it sit for 3 to 4 or 6 weeks depending on your recipe. And not with shampoo bars. So I'm going to stick these in the freezer for an hour and then I'll bring them back to unmold them and maybe even use them. Alright, so these are out of the freezer. I'm going to unmold a few and see what they look like. So they smell so good. That sea salt fragrance I looked up, it says it has notes of black seaweed, accord in it, cucumber water, Gallia melon, green lily blossoms, dewy rose, and white tea leaf. So it's very intricate and it's more than just like an ocean scent. But I can really smell that melon in there and that cucumber in there at the same time. So here are the sea salt bars. They were so much fun to make and even easy to do that I decided to go back and make a second batch. So I'm going to let these sit for 24 hours and then I'm going to give them a try. If you guys are interested in buying these, let me know. I will put them into the Etsy shop and maybe keep them in stock more often. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, you can give it a thumbs up. If you are new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe. Any questions or comments, please leave them in the comment section down below. And until next time, I hope you have a very nice day, and I'll smell you later. See how this turns out.
Looks great. There we go. Look at them. I kind of want to play this in slow motion. Okay. Ooh.
Moss. These guys. I made an extra.
Oh no, what are you doing?
I made extras. It's okay. So, put a little more icing on it.
Yeah. So there you go. That's perfect.
And then got some red icing. Oh hello, that's not red icing.
Oh my god.
Hold on. There we go. Okay.
There we go. That's perfect, sweetie. Look at that.
Some
That's
mushrooms. I can stick on tiny pieces.
That's cute too.
And like on the side. Should probably do this in the chocolate icing.
Yeah.
Let's see. One here.
Nice.
Some on this side.
Gypsy.
And I'm hoping that those meringue mushrooms in the oven are going to turn out too. But stick
Put them right down. No, maybe. I don't know.
right there.
Cute.